Real Wargamer here at the Wargaming table with Rebel Yell. Leaders and command. A brigade leader may command any unit of his brigade with which he is stacked. When commanding units in this manner, the leader must begin and end his move stacked with those units. A brigade leader may command any flags that are within his command radius. The divisional leader may command any units that are stacked with him. Divisional leaders do not have a command radius. Leader movement. Leaders have 10 MP movement points and may move during every friendly action segment. See the terrain effects chart for movement costs for leaders. Leader effects. For a unit to derive any benefit from a leader, it must be stacked with him during the whole segment. It must begin and end the segment stacked with the leader. When checking for disorganization, a unit stacked with a leader has its morale increased by 1. Units receive a +1 line modification when involved in an assault with a friendly leader. Disrupted and routed units stacked with a leader may automatically rally. No die roll is necessary for them to rally. Before I get started here, with respect to Rebel Yell, so since I played last, which was I think a few days ago, two really good things. One thing that's good is that I've been thinking a lot about the play, thinking a lot about the game, and that's always a good sign when between play sessions your mind just wanders to the game and you're thinking about all different sorts of things about the game, gameplay, strategies, whatever. And that's the case here. But even more than that, I'm thinking about Rebel Yell, about different, I'm thinking new ideas are coming up for what I like about it. And so that's a really good sign. I think I said this before, I'll go ahead and say it again. And I don't know any other way to put it. I just cannot say enough good things about this game. Cannot. It does so many things right. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't make a few changes. Doesn't mean that I don't see a few areas that I would prefer were different. But those are really minor and actually are insignificant in the overall scheme here. Okay. As I play here, so these play sessions, I'm going to try to. I would like to, even for my own enjoyment, I would like to think in terms of kind of mini games, so to speak. So, I think it's going to work here because there's so much detail to this game. But we're starting off with the P1 action segment, segment, and in this scenario, the Confederate side is player 1. Remember that changes first scenario. That's my little reminder. I put it behind the side that's the first player. And the scenario tells us to start with the P1 action segment, or segment G of the turn segments sequence. 10 turns. So since we're starting with the Confederate action segment here, I thought either I'll focus on advancing this line. So this is 2nd and 3rd brigades. 2nd Brigade and 3rd Brigade. So I thought I would concentrate on this line, advancing and obliquing right, or 1st Brigade, which is over here. Here's the division leader. Here's the 1st Brigade leader, and here's the 1st Brigade on the map edge here. I was thinking, do I want to move them to hit the Union right flank? But I thought, nope, I'm going to echelon this way first and then come in. When I was setting up and looking at the scenario before, I was thinking, wow, there's a lot of woods here, and sure enough, it turns out that Gordon's assault here is from the Battle of the Wilderness. So it would make a lot of sense. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure I saw that. Where did I see that? Gordon's assault. Where did I see that? Oh, might have been on the back of the box. But I'm pretty sure I saw it was Battle of the Wilderness. Okay, so mini games, so to speak. So action segment. Basically, there's still going to be a lot involved because I'm going to advance the line here, oblique right, and I think the Union are going to get a lot of advance fire. It's still only one hex because we're not doing different, I think they call them we're not even to the subformations yet. In other words, everybody still plays in stand to maneuver, which is that side. Later on we'll get to stand to fire there, but right now we're having gotten to that. Everybody's always in stand to maneuver, subformation. Oops, I always forget where I take pieces from. Yeah, so as the Confederates come adjacent to the Union, they're going to get the Union are going to get advance fire. The reality is, again, these are learning scenarios. I should point out that I'm going through them one at a time, but it dawned on me the other day that I think the game only comes with learning scenarios. And by the way, I never found a Module 8, so I think that was a artifact from an earlier edition. So the game doesn't come with a scenario book with a bunch of scenarios. You get the learning scenarios, which is, I have no issue with that. But anyways, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I think this scenario is really going to be a lot more practice of moving, advance fire, as well as en passant fire, and then fire combat. I'm going to point out the play card. So we have the movement and morale card, and on the back, I'm putting them on the back. They come as separate cards in the game. This is the combat card. Now, what I've done is I scanned to PDF both of these player cards, the originals, and put them away in the box. And I did that because I scanned the combat card here and in PDF, and I went in and I edited the PDF so I could correct the typo. So now the combat table, I added that 3 to make it correct, to correct the CRT. I think it says 2 originally. I mentioned that in an earlier video. I've been meaning to go in and fix this ever since I discovered the error. I finally did it. And on the back, I scanned this card, the movement and morale card, to PDF, went in and edited the PDF. I added the stream, which was missing from the original. So I added +2, +1, +3, no effect for line, column, artillery, and leader for stream. So basically I made, by editing a PDF, I made a corrected player card, which again, I've been meaning to do that ever since I discovered early on those errata, I guess you could say. Okay, yeah, so more practice advancing now. I think let's see how far we can get with the far left here. So actually technically I should start with command control. I'm definitely going to assume that everybody is in command control, although I don't think the game says that, because I think you could start out of command control, but I'm going to assume I set up correctly. I'm going to assume that I set up correctly. Yeah. For this learning scenario, I'll just go ahead and treat everybody as there we go. Oh, bump the camera. All right, so you do not have to start anywhere, obviously, but I'm going to start here because I'm going to see how far the far left can get through this woods. Remember, in this game, there's light woods and woods. They are different, but not dramatically different, but somewhat different. All right, they have a 10 movement points per action segment. This infantry here, they're going through. So they're going to go from. They're going up one level and into light woods. So let's go there. So that is up one. That's +1 for the, I guess you call it slope. Slope, yeah. How do they define slope? Do they define slope? Not really. Well, I guess it's implied that slope, right? Change in elevation. So it's +1, and then light woods is 3, so 4. +1 slope, 3 for light woods for 4. 5, 6, 7 for another light woods. And they don't have enough to go in. Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. I could go here, but I don't want to go there. I want to go there. And that's actually one too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. That'd be 11, because that's a normal woods hex for 4. That's too much. So that tells me my limit of advance there. So let's go these guys, these two companies, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3 for the slope, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the woods. Yeah, okay. So that tells me that right there, I want to make contact all in the same turn in this case. And so I'm going to advance the whole line here. And I guess this is going to be the limit of my advance. Don't have to do it that way. I mean, I could make contact in the center here. For example, this would be 2, 4, 6, 7 for entering enemy Zoc. Yeah, so I could get there, but I don't want to do that. I want to contact in the same turn. I want to try that, so I'm just going to go ahead and advance the whole line here. Just want to point out something in passing, because it's not true for all games, but I think it does make sense. At this scale and scope, it makes sense. So I just moved this stack of, there's the regimental flag and 2 companies from 4-3 regiment. They started here. That is probably darn near invisible on the screen, but there's actually, this hex is actually one level higher. So the cost for +1 for the slope is for up and down. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for going down, 7, 8, 9 for light woods. So to pass through this woods hex this way is actually 2 extra for going up and then down, because the slope or the rise goes this way, and so they're going up, across, and then down again through that hex there. All right, just talk about some implications of a couple things. First of all, the idea of 1 extra movement point for entering an EZOC, which I did mention in this area, was correct because they're clear. But EZOCs are not, the cost of +1 is not imposed for EZOCs that extend into woods, marsh, or light woods. So that means that when these Confederates move into that woods hex, light woods hex, or the woods hex is over there, or the woods or light woods hex here, when they move into those hexes, they're not paying 1 extra, because all these enemy units are exerting their EZOC into light woods or woods. So something to remember. they're paying an extra all here in the open, but not in the woods. The other thing about the tracing the command radius, so the brigade commander is here, and the brigade commander is here. So let's talk about something. Here on this side of the line where the 2nd brigade is, the terrain is more open, whereas over here where the 3rd brigade is, they're coming out through some fairly heavy wooded area. So remember that the command line, the line of command, whatever you want to call it, when you're tracing command radius, cannot go through more than 2 woods, but not light woods, or marsh hexes. So over here it's fine. We're tracing from regimental flag to the brigade commander, right? So we can go 1, 2, 3 easily. We can obviously go adjacent. We can go 1, 2, no problem. So 2nd is consolidated enough in the right terrain. 3rd over here, 1, 3 is adjacent, so no problem. 3, 3 is adjacent, but 4, 3 is over here. So let's move these guys. So I'm just going to move these guys. So when we're tracing here, we're going through Lightwoods hex, 1 Woods hex, and this is actually clear, so there's no problem. But so one more example. If the brigade commander was here, and these were all Woods hexes, then we would have trouble, because we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, not make it, or we go 1, 2, 3, and end. Again, if these were all Woods hexes, woods, not light woods, but Woods hexes. But looks like we're good. Put the brigade commander back there. Put these guys back, and just some implications for. It's not as simple. I mean, these little extra rules and details. For example, ezocs into different kinds of terrain, whether that imposes a cost or not, and tracing command radius. It is definitely one. I mean, obviously for 19th century, it would not be command radius by helicopter range or radius. We wouldn't think in those terms. But even beyond that, you have to watch for, if too rough terrain will impose limits on your command radius.